online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. BBC Radio 2. Russell Brand.
That was the Beatles. This is BBC Radio 2. I'm Russell Brand. This is the Russell Brand Show. I'm here with Matt Morgan. He's in charge of some switches that operate the machines. You're right there, Matt.
Yes.
You look rather upbeat.
You're not belittling my tasks.
I'm not belittling your tasks. You are like that fella that some religions believes at the centre of the universe running things.
That's
or perhaps
me.
they call it tings. I don't know how they speak in this particular religion. Or indeed, if it exists, I think I might have just made it up. You're right, Trev.
Very well indeed, thank you very much. How are you?
Very, very well indeed. Very well. So you went to the Secret Radio 2 dinner just yesterday, did you?
No, I didn't.
Good, because we didn't go to it. Matt and I were meant to go to it. I understand it was quite a parsimonious affair and people didn't eat lavish pheasants and swans.
Not at all. We had to bring our own sandwiches.
Bring your own sandwiches.
Well, what you do, you bring your own sandwiches and a pudding and then you swap.
I bet you sat there with a listless apology for a meal.
I didn't.
Limply folded in your fist.
No, I baked my own chocolate and orange cake.
Lovely.
Yeah, and I made some prawn sandwiches.
The way you live, Trevor. Look, Matt Morgan, of course, you probably done some sort of do, did you, yesterday?
Well, I mean, it was a sort of do. I hadn't promoted it at all, so effectively it was an empty room.
Turned into an apology, whereas I was working hard, of course, on our Channel 4 show. Met Peter and Jordan.
So was I.
Peter and Jordan, yes, Peter and Katie I met yesterday.
You never get that right, could you?
No, because she's changed her identity, and that's difficult. It must have been difficult with David Bowie. Go, what are you this week? Oh, I'm Aladdin Sane this week. I'm Ziggy Stardust. Did you have to call him those things if you met him? I've never
No, it was always Bowie.
You'd just call him David?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to go, oh, all right, Aladdin.
So what did
one week.
Jordan say? Don't call me Jordan.
She didn't actually. She's a woman completely without artifice, which is odd given the nature of her fame, being chiefly
nature of her
promoted.
chest.
Yes, chiefly centred around a construct in the boob department. But she was completely authentic and charming. So was Peter. I like it when you meet those people, famous people that don't have any appearance of being constructed. And people in general. Say, like, sometimes if you're filming with someone or put someone on the radio, they will, like me, for example, if you put me on telly or on radio, I'll show off more than I normally would. Some people, they'll go more timid and shy, bashful in front of the camera. Some people will remain completely consistent, and those are the most charming of all, I find. And I think Peter and Katie have that quality. There was no sort of real difference how they were in the dressing room before the show and how they were sort of on air, sort of lightly bickering, sometimes indiscreet, but charming throughout. And it is from these ideals that we take today's themes, where we discuss the nature of fame and embarrassing moments with famous people. That's what we're going to be talking about on our show today. So you can send us an email or a text message if you like, but you might as well just hurl it into a ditch because this all happened hours ago because it's pre-recorded.
Why did you ruin the magic?
Because Trevor and I have got to go up to York to do a stand-up comedy gig, which we'll be doing right now. But still, this is a bubble of time, a glorious bubble of time. Later in the show, we'll be talking to Noel Gallagher about his famous experiences. I remember him boasting, in fact, in the past to me, like, oh, when I met Neil Young, I never did nothing, because he don't like it if people want to take photographs with him. Noel does. No, I'm really worried about, like, how I'm perceived all the time, right? If someone comes up to me and has their photo done, I'll do it because I sort of enjoy it, and I'm a fame-hungry little vulture. But also because I'm worried about what people think of me, right? So I thought, I don't want that person to not like me, so I will just do any number of autographs and photographs, whatever's required. Sometimes people go, would you cut my genitals, and would you mind saying this to my phone, would you talk to my mum, and things like that. And I just, all of their requests I'll go along with, all of their Herculean trials I will fulfil, just to keep them happy. Do you think so?
Yeah.
Because Noel Gallagher, completely unabashed, just go, no, I ain't doing it. You know what I mean? He's absolutely himself and unapologetic about it. It's very interesting, the way we accept him.
Oh, yes, I'll do that. Oh, you won't like my photo? How kind. I must have been such a disappointment to my mother.
There's people outside.
Yeah, that's interesting, outside the Radio 2 booth. And I think because Peter and Katie are here today, there's a accumulated mass, a throng of people wanting autographs. They're very charming, very sweet. I just wonder why... Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm...
What do you write, though? How do you know what to write?
Well, now, I have become more economical. I now do just write Russell. Initially, I used to make a point of, every single person will get a personalised message, and I'd write something, I'd look at them and try and think of what sort of thing I think would appeal to them. Now, essentially, eventually it's just like, it might as well be a stamp. I might as well jab my thumbprint on their forehead. Be about your business. I have much to do.
That's why I hate cards when someone's, oh, do you want to sign a leaving card?
Yeah.
There's a pressure on you then to write something funny.
Exactly, you've got to find someone. But I think, you know, you and I, Matt, are quite good at that. You sort of think of, okay, what specific incident has there been? With, say, if Trevor was leaving, you know, and I pray for that day, we'd just think of something like, you know, right, okay, what's pertinent to Trevor? Right,
great big long haircut that he's got now.
Trevor looks like a Lego man that sort of just suddenly
Let
developed a
himself go.
pot habit. Have you discovered pod? Yeah, I have. So what? I'm really into the poetry of Burroughs now. Hey, I'm a real groovy cat. Yeah, why have you suddenly become sort of like a belated Jack Kerouac figure,
What's
Trevor?
happened is I'm wearing a roll neck sweater. I've washed my hair this morning and then I sprayed in sea salt.
You sprayed sea salt
Yeah.
into your hair.
Copycat.
Yes.
You are a copycat, because that is something I
The
designed.
main problem is the fact that you've just got a little smart side parting haircut,
Yes.
but you
Yeah.
just let it grow.
Yeah.
If you're going to grow your hair,
You look like Hitler after a holiday in Goa. So we're going to talk about our experiences meeting famous people, embarrassing situations. This is of course promoted and provoked by Matt's blog on the Radio 2 website, bbc.co.uk, where Matt, I was so pleased with my professionalism there, I had to stop and gloat internally. Oh, I just mentioned the website almost effortlessly. Matt sort of talked about me meeting Morrissey, my all-time hero, and I think I did quite well, didn't I? I didn't
yeah, you did.
embarrass
That was
myself
good.
there.
Good interview there.
It's a super interview.
Noel Gallagher said it was magical. He said magical though.
Not madrigal.
He didn't say that. He speaks English, and like I said, he'd heard stuff from Morrissey that he'd never heard before, and it was rather inspiring.
Did you
for me.
phone up Noel and go, did you hear my interview?
No, I've done an interview. Would you like to listen to it, please?
Your necklace is making a noise.
I'll take it off. Let's get rid of it. Yeah, it is. It's jangling. You're
Yesterday,
right to
like a
put
big
that out.
box of little boxes appeared. Russell goes,
My jewels, my new jewels.
and he ratted through the box. He gets sent jewels from people, yeah.
They're lovely jewels, my jewels. They're nice. I don't know why you would query
A
them.
load of religious imagery just on a chain.
Yeah, it's belittling Catholicism a touch, but, you know, it does look nice. Now, do you know, guess what happened? Last night, I was meant to go and see Morrissey at Wembley Arena. No. I was dear, yes, but unfortunately I didn't make it. But guess what I heard? Right, Morrissey's manager, Jennifer, I phoned her up to apologise, because it's really awful, isn't it, if you get free tickets and then don't use them. Right, so I phoned up and goes, oh, I'm ever so sorry I didn't make it, you know, work ran over, dear. And she goes, oh, wow, you missed it then. Morrissey came on stage, introduced his band, went through one by one, introducing all the members of his band, and went, oh, so that's, you know, I should know everyone in the band, but I'm fixated really on Morrissey. Oh, so-and-so on drums, so-and-so on bass, so-and-so lead guitar, and I'm Russell Brand.
Yeah, I heard this.
Amazing! He introduced himself as Russell Brand, Morrissey, can you imagine it?
Confused, isn't he?
He said, it's obviously affected him, this
He hadn't
this
dressed up
meeting.
as you, had he?
Apparently he had. He stood out there. And then he sang a song about his dinkle, boasted about his sexual prowess.
Charming Dinkle.
It's this charming ball bag. It's a 180-degree turnaround. A man is always discreet about his love life to the point of not having one. This is Russell Brand on Radio 2 with Matt Morgan and Trevor Locke. Later on, we've got Omid Jalili and Noel Gallagher on the show. Jonathan Ross. Jonathan Ross.
Stop eating your sandwich.
I do apologise, ever so unprofessional, I was starving. Jonathan Ross just bowled in here, didn't he?
Yes.
He did, yeah.
Bold as brass. Alright, hello. Like, he's another person completely at ease with himself, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
And in fact, he was the prime example of today's theme, in my case, of embarrassing incidents when meeting famous people. Here's but a few examples of embarrassing incidents when I've met famous people. Embarrassing incident 1. When I was about 16, no older than that, 20, I met Chris Morris wandering the street. He was sort of a hero of mine. I just saw him walking down a street in sort of around Soho. And like with my mate Carl Theobald, now the guy who's in Green Wing, very fine actor. We did a double act at that time, and we had flyers, and we were going around hawking ourselves around agencies. And like Chris Morris walked by, and I went, oh my god, that's Chris Morris. So like I went, and I thought, like, you know, I even then had this attitude of, you know, carpe diem, seize the day. An opportunity like that comes along, why not? What are you going to, you know, and in a line that I use on an almost daily basis, what are you going to do? Remember the day that you saw Chris Morris and then didn't go and talk to him? I've managed to reprise that into bludgeoning people, into giving up their inhibitions.
What are you going to do? What are you going to tell your grandchildren about the day that you didn't sleep with Russell Brand?
I fear grandchildren will be out of the question now that you've contracted syphilis. At That's a lovely little joke. Now, I'm actually clean as a whistle, sharp as a thistle. Yeah, so, like, I just scampered off after, like, my mate Carl goes, oh, Chris Morris, oh, shall we trouble him? I go, yeah, no, we must seize the opportunity. I ran off after him, clutching a flyer. Goes, oh, and I remember distinctly going, Mr. Morris! Doing that grot bag crocodile voice. Like, and he's such an irreverent sort of man, isn't he, as well, to call him Mr. Morris!
Yeah, but what if you'd gone, Chris? Would have been worse.
Been overbearing, wouldn't it? So, yeah, called him Mr. Morris. Sort of thrust a grubby little flyer in his general direction. I goes, oh yes, hello, my friend and I, we do a double act. I mean, if you're busy, if you're not busy, it'd be lovely if you could come. Expecting him to come to above some North London pub and sit and watch me and Carl Theobald scrabbling our way through a half-baked sketches. Actually, some of them are quite good. But I go, he goes, well, thank you for this piece of paper, but I shan't be coming, but jolly good. You know, he was sort of polite about it. He was nice. He wasn't sort of embarrassed or embarrassing. Mostly I was embarrassed about the Mr. Morris bit, but I suppose you're right.
After he said that? Okay, Mr. Morris.
Okay, Mr. Morris, governor! Sort of tipped me cap, clicked me heels, flipped a halfpenny in my fingers and made off.
And then when you did the show, did you sort of look at the back? Did you think, oh, is that Mr. Morris?
Oh, it's Mr. Morris could be here any minute. Yeah, preparing a chair for him in a Mr. Godot style.
Reserved for Mr. Morris.
Mr. Godot could be here any minute. He'll prepare a chair. Yeah, so that was sort of a bit embarrassing. Then when I met Vic Reeves, who was also a hero of mine, I didn't like, he was heckling me while I was doing some warm-up for a TV programme, and he was going, oh, do Steely Dan, making me do requests like I was a jukebox up on the stage, and I was like, the reason I couldn't handle it was because I didn't know whether to call him Jim Moir, which I knew to be his real name, or Vic Reeves, and I was sort of in my mind, I was thinking, oh, shall I call him Jim Moir, if I call him Vic Reeves, it looks like I'm not included in the actuality of who he is. If I call him, if I call him Jim Moir, it looks overly familiar, so I was floundering about that, and wasn't able to deal with the situation, and most embarrassingly of all, when I first went on Jonathan Ross's radio show, he goes, oh, alright, you know, I have my phone number, you know, at the end of it, he gave me his phone number, he goes, yeah, I'll take my number, you'll be too timid to use it, of course, and, so I later on thought, right, timid, you say? So I later on took a photograph of myself with a lady with big boobs, with her boobs. Big boobs! She got big boobs! They was visible boobs! I know Jonathan Ross to be a keen fan of a big boob. It's clear, isn't he? He likes Russ Mann films. He likes big boobs. His wife's got big boobs, hasn't she?
Stop saying big boobs.
Big boobs! Big boobs! What? Wee! It's evident, isn't it? It's a self-evident truth. And so I had my picture taken with this lady's boobs.
You can have taken.
I had
Who took it?
Me, actually, with my extended arm, as if it was.
I've got an extended arm.
Matt, I didn't want to worry you. I'm bionic. I'm bionic, ironic, all of them. And I had my picture taken with her boobs as if I was clutching a pike. There we go, look at those, right? So I took my photo of that and then texted it to Jonathan Ross, saying not only am I not too timid to use your number, I'm disgustingly over-familiar. Never mentioned it since.
You mentioned it to him?
No, I should have brought it up just then when he came in the room, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
When he was saying you should be more risque on air, and that your radio show was too tame the first week, and he said, well, we're just getting used to things, we're just settling down. That's Jonathan Ross saying, really, giving us licence to be a bit more outlandish. Yeah, and also then Terry Wogan came in, pulled down his trousers and pants, did a massive blow-off and go, come on, lads! They go, do you want to see would you like to see my impression of an elephant? Pulled the pockets out of his trousers, but come on! So in a way, I think things could be getting a little more reckless around here. What, should we listen to Sid Barrett?
No.
Why?
Because we've had 3 of your tunes.
Two?
All depressing.
They're not depressing. Lovely Rita Meter Maid's not depressing.
Oh, yeah, that was all right.
Unless you are a meter maid and find that somehow disconcerting and disrespectful. Why would they write that song?
Why not?
Well, I know, but I just think, what was the journey to that? Do you think they were thinking about meter maids?
Yeah, there was an actual Rita that they wrote it about, a London meter maid. Yeah, I remember when she retired in 1986. They did a special report on.
I don't believe you, Trevor.
Such
Well,
an old man.
believe me, darling.
I
it
remember when
happened.
she retired in 19-tickety-tick. Oh, that was
It wasn't 19-tickety-tick.
Blooming Al Capone got condemned, but it was tax reasons. In the end, they got him on, of course. Ness and the Untouchables, they were all over him like a rash, but then it was tax.
That's not how I speak, and that's not how I dance.
You dance and speak in the fashion of a ridiculous clockwork man from yonder years.
Rita retired in 1986, and they did a special report on Nationwide about her.
I did a special report on
Yeah,
Nationwide.
because it was
His
Rita.
reference points
It's a
nationwide.
world famous song, Rita. And when she retired, they said, "Oh look, it's the original inspiration for that fantastic Beatles track." She's retiring.
I reckon Nationwide, with its beige backdrop and its beige mentality, to you seemed like a real load of pizzazz and razzmatazz, but you loved it. Oh, Nationwide's going to be on in a minute. Oh, it's Sue Lawley. Didn't you? I got excited.
I fancied Sue Lawley.
I watched the other side where a young Danny Baker was making his way into broadcasting on the 6 o'clock show with Asborn, Janet Street Porter and a lot of other young guns of television at the time. Look at Matt looking down at the floor.
Confused by this whole
Like he's being
conversation.
bothered in an orphanage.
You must have been children with quite an awareness of the media.
Yes.
That's right.
What
because
else was
I
there
just
to do?
used to watch Wurzel Gummidge.
and it shows in all of your work. Oh, Russell, help me on your show. I like a cup of tea and fluffy cake. Is that how you carry
That
on?
was when telly was good.
It's like the whiskey.
golden years.
Oh, the golden years of Wurzel Gummidge. Listen, why don't we listen to some music, then after that we have a chat to Noel Gallagher. Omar Jalili's coming in here a bit later, and we'll be being a lot more reckless at the behest of our TV and radio forebear, Mr. Jonathan Ross. But now, what are we going to listen to, Matty?
Well, you want Sid Barrett,
We'll listen to
Baby
what you want to
Lemonade.
listen to, if you like. It's up to
All
you.
right, so
We're a
Primal
family.
Scream.
What is it then?
Primal Scream.
Fine, Primal
think it's
Scream.
been
They were
more
on the
up.
show last night. Brilliant. And I forgot to say hello or anything to Bobby Gillespie or Manny, and I feel a bit embarrassed about it. Well, I didn't go over and go, oh, all right, mate, thanks for coming on the show. I just sort of waved at him from across the room.
You've changed.
Oh dear.
It's rude, isn't it?
Kingly wave.
Let's dedicate their own music to them. Is that bad? Okay, you can't. I'd like to dedicate this track to Primal Scream. This is going out to you
Yes,
guys.
it'll cause them to implode.
Yeah,
Create
well,
a paradox.
a vortex will open up. Someone's dedicated their own music to them. It's ridiculous. We're talking about embarrassing incidents, meeting famous people. Perhaps now the apotheoses of fame and embarrassment, the realisation of those two twinned ideologies. It's Noel Gallagher on the phone. You right, Noel?
Yeah.
Are you all right? What are you doing?
Why was that funny?
Because you sort of went, yeah, in this sort of lazy way, as if nothing mattered.
What am I doing? I'm not doing much, actually. I'm sat looking out a hotel room window in Australia.
You're in Australia. Do you not like being abroad now that you're a little bit older? Do you miss your home comforts? Are you confused?
I missed the philosophy bag, yeah, and Sarah regularly changing my nappy. Yeah.
That must be difficult
miss
for
that.
you.
No, I do like travelling, Russell. As all human beings like travelling, I guess, don't they?
I suppose
All of them.
sometimes some people like being nomadic, but sometimes occasionally you meet people that have never even been out of their town, don't you?
Yeah. Well, they're idiots, though, aren't they, really?
Those people are...
Or poor.
That's right. No, they fall into one of those two camps. Right, so what are you doing? You're promoting your album to Australian people?
Yeah, I'm in Melbourne today. Yeah, I'm doing some of those acoustic gigs. You know, the thing that I'd done for you and the thing that I'd done at uni, kind of carrying on that kind of thing up until Christmas.
Yeah, you did intimate acoustic gigs. You did one for us for Focus 12, the charity of which I'm a patron, out of what I can only describe as the goodness of my heart. You did another one at the Union Chapel was that for MenCap, Noel?
Yes, it was. It was for NCAP, but these ones I'm doing are strictly for promotional purposes.
I expect you'll enjoy those more, being quite a self-centred man.
Well, you say that, Russell. you say I'm self-centred.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not coming on your radio show thinking of myself, am I?
No, you're propping up my career, and I do appreciate
I
it.
don't get anything out of it.
No, you don't. That's very true. That is very
No,
altruistic.
apart from ridicule.
What I was interested in, actually, I meant to mention this to you, is that when you invited me to go to that MenCap gig, and I'm very glad I went along, it was brilliant. See Joe Wiley there, see Serge and Tom from Kasabian, they were brilliant. You, obviously, wonderful as always. But, like, in all the times that you invited me to it, you never at any point mentioned MenCap or anything. Just went, I'm doing this thing, like, where I'm doing acoustic gigs. You never, like, at any point goes, it's for MenCap. Just like, you just went,
Well, no, did I not?
no, mate.
Why would I?
I don't know,
Why
just...
would I?
I don't know, because I thought that's supposed to be the motivation behind it.
Well, yeah, but if I was to say to you it's for MenCap, you might have been obliged to put your hand in your pocket.
I would have happily
Did-
made a
did you?
donation. No, actually, I didn't, mate. I just stood
No,
there.
you could have spent the money that you did spend on that ridiculous trench coat you were wearing. Good with it.
Yeah, I thought I looked very dashing in that vampiric trench coat, which I believe you described it as. You said you look like Dracula as a flasher or something, I think you said I looked like.
You looked very strange. Because you freak me out when I see you, because I forget how tall you are. You're quite a tall chap. I don't like that. I don't like tall people. They freak me out.
Well, you're not really little, are you? How tall are you?
In my own head, I'm over 6 foot, obviously.
But in reality, you're a little more than a dwarf.
Not dwarf, hey.
A Thunderbird puppet that's cut its strings and raced off the set, picked up a guitar instead of a shovel, in my opinion, a mistake.
See? This level of abuse, did he?
Who didn't?
No, Morrissey didn't get this, did he?
No, he got sycophancy.
No.
Which I think
you sat and you listened attentively to him, didn't you?
Oh, did you, Morrissey? Oh, do you have feelings about things? I love you.
But let me... Matt's obviously there.
Yeah, he's there. Here.
Did you notice, Matt, that halfway through the interview, Morrissey started interviewing Russell?
Yeah, it did turn around like that.
Now, the thing is, being a seasoned interviewee myself, when that happened, I know for a fact that Morrissey had gone, right, I've had enough of this idiot now. I've had enough of his stupid questions. I'm now going to kill time by pretending to be into what he does. and anyway, never mind me being self-centred. You went with it.
Well, this is good, Morrissey.
Yes, well, stand-up comedy is my forte. I'm looking to get into television. You're up to, you idiot. He's just thinking he's looking at his personal assistant going, get me out of here.
Well, I'm sure you'd like to believe that, Noel, but actually, at Wembley Arena, only last night, Noel Gallagher, not Noel Gallagher, you're Noel Gallagher, Morrissey marched onto the stage. All I know is that there's me and then there's other people, some of whom seem to be famous. Morrissey went on stage at Wembley Arena and introduced his band one by one and then went, and I'm Russell Brand. Introduced himself as me. So what make you, oh, Mr. Cynical, Judgmental Gallagher, of that fact?
Of that? Morrissey is widely regarded as possibly the most sarcastic Mancunian in the history of Mancunianism.
A hard-fought title.
I just love the fact that you thought he was interested. So, Russell, tell me.
Don't shatter that illusion.
Comedy or television? Well, Morrissey, yes, well, I prefer stand-up comedy.
He was
Honestly,
interested.
It was quite possibly one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life.
Oh no, another illusion shattered. Yeah, no, have you ever had an embarrassing thing happen to you when you've met a famous person, a hero or anything? Because that is the theme of the show.
Actually, I've got a funny Morrissey story for you, right?
Go on.
I was at... Now, get on this. Morrissey requested once that I present him with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Mojo Awards, right?
Yeah.
So there. Beat that.
Well, he pretended to be me on stage. He probably was doing that sarcastically, Noel.
So anyway,
a Lifetime Achievement, get Noel Gallagher.
Listen, you've just asked me a question.
Sorry.
Okay, right. So I go up there and I give some spiel about Morrissey being an inspiration, blah, 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 and all that. And, of course, he comes up and he says, thank you, Sir Noel, you know, in his droll way. And, you know, like at these award ceremonies when the recipient and the person that gives the award, they kind of walk off the side of the stage together.
Yes.
Right? You've seen this happen, right?
That is the protocol,
Now,
I've seen it.
There was somebody there that waved the pair of us off. And he walked off and I walked off behind him and we went down this flight of stairs and I assumed we were going into some kind of media room where we would do a photograph.
Yeah.
So we walked down this one flight of stairs and then another and I'm kind of walking behind Morrissey thinking, this is so cool, man. There's just like me and Morrissey on the staircase and a couple of other people and we walk down. He goes to a door, opens the door, leaves, goes outside the building, gets in a taxi and drives off. So I walk out the door after him, not thinking anything, being a bit drunk. The door shuts behind me, I'm left outside the thing, right? I don't know where, in Whitehall somewhere, thinking, how on earth am I going to get back in? I have to go round the back, the front, I have to go round the front going, right, pass paparazzi again. Yeah, I won't tell you where I've just come from. But as he got in the car, he turned around and looked at me and thought, what's that idiot doing following me? And I was kind of stood there going, yeah, in a bit, Morrissey, nice one, thanks.
Oh, that's quite sweet. I don't imagine you getting embarrassed like that. That's so sweet.
Well, you know, 1 minute I was thinking, you know, me and Morrissey are going to do a photograph. The next thing he's looking at me thinking, why is this idiot following me through the back, and then he gets off in his car and drives off?
That's so sweet. I didn't think you were capable of that kind of tender embarrassment, following Morrissey into loneliness, and, like, instead of having your photo done all glamorously, just having to stand by some bins looking at Morrissey through a window.
And then got locked outside.
Award ceremonies shouldn't be like that. That shouldn't happen to you, Noel. That was out of order, that you had to endure that. It's embarrassing and awkward. Which is what I thought.
Well, I don't mind, because out of it comes this rather funny story.
That's
that
true.
I've injected into your radio show.
There it is.
People will think, there you go. Isn't that interesting?
It's lovely. We've reaped up the benefits of your ridiculous, embarrassing professional life there once more. Thank you very much.
Now, here's another thing.
Oh, Christ. Here he goes.
You know, your DVD on the extras bit.
Oh, yes. What about it?
There's a bit where we're doing this kind of thing.
What? So, we're like on the radio from the Six Music Radio Show. Yes. There's a bit where we're talking.
There's some bits where you're kind of nervously looking at someone off camera while I'm rabbiting on about something.
Yeah, I'm doing that now, Noel. I'm thinking he's still talking. Wind it up, Gallagher, for Christ's sake. That was a lovely anecdote about Morrissey. Now he's going to start listing things that are in his hotel room.
You're looking at someone, and when they look at your face, it's kind of going, yeah, I'll get rid of him in a minute. When he shuts up, I'll get rid of him. No, he's going to carry on. No,
that is the face I'm doing now. I've got that face on me now. I'm looking at people. If there were a camera here now, it would be capturing that very expression of, oh, God, it's still going on.
Well, can you imagine what hand sign I'm making now?
I bet it's not a gesture. I bet it's an actual activity.
It's a universally recognised hand sign of somebody who doesn't have a girlfriend.
I think that's an absolute lie. I think what you're probably doing is either actually doing that for real, not miming it, or you're pretending to be Henry VIII eating a chicken leg and throwing it over your shoulder, recreating a Tudor banquet out of sheer loneliness.
I'm beheading a wench.
Why not? Noel Gallagher, I miss you while you're in other countries, and I can't wait for you to return to Blighty. Thank you very much for your time.
I'll be back for Christmas.
Yeah, back for Christmas, but missing our television show, you selfish man. We're trying to get guests on that show. It's murder. But anyway, thank you very much for coming on this one. You're a lovely man. It's lovely to talk to you.
It's a pleasure.
Bye, Noel Gallagher.
At any point. I'm there for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, we'll call you again. Well, you can be our Australian correspondent. You can tell us stuff about Australian anti-culture.
Yeah, well, they don't have any, do they?
No, they don't. It's, so you can tell us about that. Look, I'm doing that face now so aggressively that it's like I look like Marcel Marceau being attacked by a Doberman.
All right. I'm giving you the universe fan sign that says...
Oh my God, that is a beep. Right, thank you very much, Noel Gallagher, everyone. Take care, you beautiful soul. Bye-bye. There's Noel Gallagher. What should we listen to now, Matty Morgan?
Jesus and Mary Chain.
Let's listen to the Jesus and Mary Chain. They've based their name on the idea that Jesus' bloodline might still be alive. Jesus and Mary Magdalene had it all, then that begat a child, that begat a child, that begat a child. Jesus and Mary Chain,
I think it might mean the chain, like the chain you wear.
Nah.
Religious iconography on it.
No, it's the Jesus and Mary chain. Mary Magdalene and Jesus. Jesus had it all, according to a theory.
Mary was his mum.
No, but not Mary Magdalene. That weren't his mum.
Don't say that about
Crikey. It's probably blasphemous enough that we're suggesting he had sex with Mary Magdalene, Matt. You have to take things too far, don't you? Not the views of the BBC.
They were crazy times.
Crazy days, crazy biblical times. Hey, let your hair down, go crazy. No, the idea that Jesus' bloodline live on, like as explored by that Da Vinci Code thing and various other Knights Templar type mythology. I wonder if Jesus' progeny were alive. I wonder what those guys would be like. Something to ponder. Probably they'd be good orators, wouldn't they? Confident, long-haired, dashing types, I imagine. Listen to Russell Brand on Radio 2. What track was that then, Matt?
The Hardest Walk.
Oh, the hardest walk. Perhaps that hardest walk is when you traipse behind Morrissey in the vague hope that you're going to get your photo done with him, only to be left in an alleyway, locked out of an award ceremony, much in the style of Noel Gallagher, as you described.
As I had to walk across that stage.
Now, that would have been a hard walk.
Dear old Lulu.
Now, this is a timeless Matt Morgan anecdote about the occasion where he, at his, was it art school or university?
University.
You were at university, all your diplomas were presented by Lulu, who was not an alumni of the college. I mean everyone's diplomas. I'm surprised you've got any. Wait, you carry on.
What have you got?
Drama school.
What'd you get when you graduate from there?
Well, actually, I was thrown out of a week to go, so I got tears and recrimination.
A special pair of tights.
I got a lovely little tutu and a pair of silver ballet shoes.
God, that must be awful. The ceremony of everyone graduating from drama school must be a right show.
Thank you for my diploma. Big show-off scenario that is.
Everyone bustling to get up there on the stage.
I like that thing you said, Matt, about all the best people are thrown out of drama school and art school. Who, like John Lydon, John Lennon, me and you. Because, like, you know, Matt goes, you'd think that they'd have realised now that all the best people are thrown out of drama school and art school and go, right, that's it, that's terrible, that painting you've done, get out, that's it, right out, go on, bye-bye, bye. Right, psst, wait, come round the back, we've got a proper school, you're brilliant, them other idiots were satisfied with conventional art, this is where we do the proper art, go on, do a wee over there, not in that urinal, oh my god, that is part of the art. That there was a reference, a very postmodern joke that I've done there, what's he called? Duchamp, yeah. Duchamp, right, he done this bit of art, it's just a urinal, and then some other bloke, he come in weed, and it goes, that's art, but you know, you've got to draw the line, haven't you?
Manzoni tinned it, didn't he?
He tinned his whoopsie.
Yeah.
And called it art.
Giacometti, wasn't it?
Giacometti?
Giacometti did sculptures.
Yeah, but I thought he tinned some poo as well.
That's a very broad spectrum of a broad body of work he left. Here I have done the infant Samuel of prayer, and over there I've just popped in a tuna can. Well, they're both very good. I'm very impressed. It's difficult to judge. You could have two rosettes. So Matt was at his art school. No, not art school. University.
At the Barbican. It was a huge ceremony.
Huge ceremony. Was it? Great big audience. A lot of
press were there.
A lot of regalia. Lulu there herself.
I don't know why Lulu was there.
Not an alumni of the college.
Odd choice, isn't she?
I think they probably start off thinking, let's get someone relevant, then work their way down.
No, I think she was connected because it was a big music department at my university, so I think she was something to do with that.
Right.
But so she was dressed in a gown and stuff.
She had a gown and a mortarboard on?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Like when Prince Charles dresses as an admiral, you think, why are you doing that for?
Well, he has to.
Well, he's leader of the armed forces, isn't he?
Yeah, but still, he should just dress up as a cub. Doesn't make sense. He's not done any wars. Go and do a war. Go and join in one of the other ones that there's going on around the world. Go on, earn your badge. Go on. So Lulu's there in a mortarboard and a gown, presenting one by one the diplomas to all the worthy, educated young people of that university. And as I recall the story, Matt Morgan there, and Lulu's shaking that. What is it? It's on the stage. Everyone walks up some stairs, across the stage. Lulu's in the middle. She shakes your hand. She gives you a diploma.
The worst thing is your name's read out. You walk from. It was about 20 metres from the side of the stage to where Lulu was.
So you've got a little twitchy walk of I'm walking towards Lulu.
But also because your name's and people are clapping, you sort of on that walk sort of feel like you should turn to the crowd and go, "Yep, that's me.
Yep, I'm Matt Morgan. This is me getting my diploma."
Thanks for the clapping.
Love the clapping thing you're doing there. It's a good celebration of my achievements.
So it's really nerve-wracking because you're waiting to go up and then everyone's sort of like just released across that stage.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's your turn.
And everyone one by one was coming out with a pithy thing to say to Lulu. Go, all right, darling, you make me want to shout. Relight my fire, love. All the lads one by one.
Some blokes
kissed her, handshake, maybe a hug, 2 kisses, 1 kiss each side, 1 on the lips, he's a cheeky one. All these people doing different little takes of the receipt of a diploma. I know, I wonder about that.
The social skills to actually enjoy that.
Stephen Fry in his book talks about people having the ability to join in, that's why I can't dance, I can't do like social activities where it's all, hey, we're a group of people all having a laugh. I can show off in front of people, or I can have a nice one-to-one chat, but if you've got, right, okay, we're all going to do this thing together, I think, oh God, no! Help me!
Yeah. Russell Brand at a party is not a pretty thing.
Ghastly, isn't
Twitching mess.
Can we go now, please? I was no better when I was on heroin, was I? But I think I've got better, actually.
No, you are much better now.
Yeah.
But, like, the other day, that MTV party.
Yeah, MTV rap party, I twitched my way through that little affair, glazed over and confused, once I realised there was going to be nothing to sedate me through the evening or to entertain me. I thought, oh, crikey.
Well, if you don't drink, then...
I don't drink. If you don't drink and you're not trying to chat up girls, what on earth are you going to do? Look out of a window,
eat food,
make a face with an apple, like bite eyes in it and a mouth. That's what I did in the end. How long can you talk to it for? An hour. That's what I discovered. So,
so anyway, I'm walking across the stage.
All these people have done a witty thing. They've all said, all right, Lulu, make me want to shout, kiss, kiss, hug, hug. Matt reaches the stage, it's his turn. You were supposed to be nervous and twitchy.
The distance towards her, she was smiling at me, and it's such a that's awkward anyway when it's someone you know that you sort of see them at a distance and then you have to all right, and then you're still
you've got to kill that time the walk you've got to kill
I'm walking weird
my walk looks weird, Lulu's gonna judge me on my walk, she'll take back the diploma. And Matt's sort of getting more and more nervous on his little walk going towards her. Oh, here comes the moment
no, in my head I said, just say thank you,
just say thank you,
the scroll and say
thank you. Simple. Just say thank you. But what did you say? You took her hand, shook her hand, and said,
Lulu.
Lulu! You just said her name at her on the stage in front of you. Oh, you poor, silly, ridiculous boy. There's a similar story about Nanette Newman. I've moved away from the microphone. Nobody panic. Jonathan Ross said, be more avant-garde in your presenting. Perhaps we could try a silent radio. Where's that Nanette Newman lady? She says she went up to Nanette Newman and introduced herself. Oh, here we are. Carol writes, Matt, the people are addressing you now just because you do the blog. Can't you put this by me and you?
No, because it's a lie.
Right, alright. Next week's blog should say something along the lines of, hello, blogsters. I feel blogtastic this blog-to-noon. You know, I'm sure they'd like that sort of thing. Puns.
Why don't you write it one day?
Alright, I will one day. Carol writes, anyway. She goes, Matt, my embarrassing moment with a famous person is very similar to yours. I once introduced myself to Nanette Newman as Nanette Newman. That's a hard word.
Can you?
No, because it's like the word mnemonic. It looks like all of the consonants are crashing into each other.
Nanette Newman.
Nanette Newman. Nanette, I feel like I'm going to Paul Hardcastle song. Nanette 19. None of us received a hero's welcome, which was a bloody shame because it was a difficult war anyway. I got addicted to heroin during it. Come back home, don't even get a ticker tape parade. Nanette Newman. Yeah. So I introduced myself to Nanette Newman as Nanette Newman. Everyone laughed. Hello, I'm Nanette Newman. I wonder if she said I'm Nanette, because it'd be difficult to say. You've so much thinking about Nanette Newman that when the moment comes,
it's just like mine.
So you're just thinking,
if I was her, I'd have gone, no, I'd try. You could go with it. You could just say I am.
And by coincidence, I am called.
Now I've finally met you. I've always lived in your shadow with your name.
Yeah, it's cold here, but now we've finally met. Yeah, that is it. I suppose because your brain, Matt, is such a simple little object.
No, it isn't.
It must be.
Very complex.
All it could come up with
your
is
brain
just to announce Lulu as someone.
You could
Lulu.
use that as the beginning of a sentence. You could have gone, Lulu, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes. No, but he didn't say it like that. The intonation was wrong.
Thank you.
He went,
it as
Lulu!
No, I went, imagine earlier, thank you. I went, Lulu. Lulu.
You said it with exactly the thank you. You twerp. Then later, this Nanette Newman lady, Carol, said, later at the same event, I fell over and did a backwards roll into the terrace bar of the Lyric Hammersmith in London. Embarrassing, yes, but also quite camp in anecdote terms.
Nanette Newman just fell over.
That silly cow. I've never trusted her washing up. Yeah, so there we are. That's some of the embarrassing things that have happened. Let's listen to some... What should we listen to? Put Syd Barrett on.
No.
Go on, yeah,
Well,
Baby
no,
Lemonade.
Wait, don't hurry me on the switches.
That's your old job doing that. You're a bit less anecdotes about Lulu, young man, and a bit more in charge of the switches.
It's my job to do the switches, because every other presenter does their own switches, apart from
Jonathan
you.
Ross does not do his... Does Jonathan Ross do his own switches? Right,
No.
people are shaking their heads. No, he doesn't do his own switches.
And you.
Wogan, does he do his own switches? Wogan does his own switches!
Does his own switches.
Chris Evans, does he must do his own switches.
Yeah.
Right, well, so I'm with Jonathan Ross. There's two camps on the matter. I'm in the Jonathan Ross camp.
But don't try and understand what I do over here. Constantly tweaking.
It's not alchemy, what you're doing over there. You're not breaking through. You're not an alchemist of the airwaves. I've come up with purest radio.
I turn your radio lead into gold, mate.
Ooh, that's quite nice. You've got to give credit to him there, but this is the occasion where I have to also announce Matt Morgan being fired from Radio 2. Been just a bit too smug. That used to all confounded. Matt's put his headphones back on. It looks like Medusa and Princess Leia crossed together. He's got his headphones on, all his hair's all snaked up. You looked so sweet then.
That song is rubbish.
Baby Lemonade's not rubbish.
It is, it's rubbish. I hate Syd Barrett.
Oh, you horrible man. He's got childlike majesty and beauty about him.
I've got a bike, you can have a go if you want.
No, I've got a bike, you can ride it if you like. It's got a basket, a bell and rings and things that make it look good. I'd give it to you if I could, but I borrowed it. It's not even his bike. The initial premise of the song is undermined by the end of the first verse.
Baby Lemonade.
I like it. He weren't well then. He was on a lot of drugs. Dave Gilmour produced all that.
Why do we have to go through it?
I think it's brilliant. I think he's got a beautiful childlike sensibility. I think he conveys childhood to you. That's what I think he captures, the feeling of being a child. I think he does that eloquently and beautifully, rather like the film E.T. does. Like the moment in E.T. when he revealed to his brother and sister that he's found E.T. and he goes, I'm keeping him. like that. I think, oh, that's what it's like being a little kid. I'm keeping him. It's like thinking that's what life's like. I've got this thing.
That film famously made Ronald Reagan turn around to Spielberg and say, "You don't know how close this is
You're
to
such
reality."
a div for believing that for even a
true.
second. What that is, that was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And if you compare those two films, Matt, Close Encounters, a sort of, you know, quite a nuanced, dramatic documentary about the idea of supernatural phenomenon and UFOs. E.T., sentimental puppet show about all daftness
Just means there's an
and
alien.
broken families.
Ronald Reagan went, "Oh yeah, this is about aliens."
He said
Turned
that
round
about
to him and
Close
said,
Encounters, because they're all communicating through vibration and music and like, you know, sending the image, the
I honestly
semiotic
think
image
it
of
was
that
E.T.
mountain. Fine,
There's
people
a
will
screening
text
at the
us.
White House, and
Yeah, all those facts are true, but it's not about E.T. or Muppets
It was
Christmas
Matt and
Carol.
me.
It's about...
it was Short Circuit 2.
Short Circuit 2 was on. Ronald Reagan turned round to Nixon and he goes, "No one knows just how accurate this is. I've got a...
Johnny Five.
I've got a... he sits next to my bed. Every morning he makes me a cup of tea. He's really chirpy.
More input.
Remember that? He used to read books really quickly.
Yeah, this is going about...
It's just a trolley.
More input. Would you like some tea? Yes, whatever you'd like. Okay, let's have some news, shall we? Right, right, we're going to have a bit of news now. It's going to be from Boggy. His name is what? Paul Marsh? John Marsh. John Marsh, who's known as Boggy by Wogan. Right then, John Marsh, would you please be so kind?
John Mask.
John
Mask?
John Mask? What are you hiding, John Mask? What's going on behind that? I think that let's get him to say a word. What word?
He should say the aliens have arrived.
Don't say that. We've got an Orson Welles done it and nearly ruined the civilization.
Well, one day,
very
Russ,
irresponsible.
One day, Russ, you will throw to the news, and that really will be the news.
Yes. No, actually, though, because I'll be there as the delegate going, right, they've come now, they've chosen me to be the one that gives off information. There's to be a lot more cuddling.
Gives off information.
Because of my skill with language. Thinking that words are pheromones. Okay, then, let's have a bit of news. Hold on, let's think of a word to get John Marsh to say.
Bogs down.
Bogged down. His name's Boggy on Wogan
Show.
Show.
Say boggy or bogged.
Boggy or bogged down. Say it on the news, please, Boggy John Marsh. Give our regards to Wogan. We love him. This is 88 to 91 FM. This is Radio 2 from the BBC. I know I said this is twice, but it is Radio 2 from the BBC. That was Frank Zappa, I Am the Slime, in which he condemns, what, the idea of modern television?
Yes.
Did you dedicate that song to me inside
Yes.
your mind, saying that I'm the slime that oozes from television?
Yes.
You wicked, vindictive man. Omid Jalili is here. Let's create atmosphere. Hand him. All right, Omid Jalili. Hello, thanks for coming.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm in a good mood, feel upbeat, optimistic, happy about life. Are you well?
I'm well, and I'm glad to see you've got your own show. I don't know if people do people talk about Russell's stand-up, how brilliant he is as a stand-up here.
No one ever mentions it.
No one ever mentions it. He is,
We try to keep it quiet.
he's visceral. He's charismatic. He's exciting. He's probably one of the best stand-ups in the country right now.
Thank you very much.
I thought that has to be said at the beginning.
High praise from you, Mr.
Be
Jalili.
nice to me.
We'll be lovely to you. It's not in our nature to be cruel to anyone, really. Each other a little bit. No, I don't get to talk about my stand-up much because, of course, whilst this may have the appearance of typical Zoo Radio, me with a couple of chumps, I'm actually with a couple of vindictive and spiteful people who are my actual friends and won't ever allow me to celebrate my success and my triumphs.
Trevor was a good stand-up. You doing stand-up anymore?
Well, I'm supporting him. I'm on tour with him.
Oh, good. I haven't seen it. Oh, good.
Trevor's doing very well. Tonight we're in York. That's why this is pre-recorded. This moment now happening. You're doing a tour right now, are you?
I do tour January, February, all the dates. See, I've got a family and I can't do these big 60, 70 date tours. I do about 25 dates one year, then do another 25 dates January, February.
Did you like doing big proper tours? Did it make you feel all sexy and rock and roll?
I did, but I don't know how long Trevor does, but some of my warm-up acts got a bit excited to go to these big 2,000-seat venues. I mean, Hal Cruttenden, do you know him? He was on it. He did about 35 minutes in Bristol once because I got so excited I couldn't stop myself.
Yeah, so you're stood in the wings, annoyed.
I said, get off, come on. So by the time I'm on, the audience is spent. So
they want the toilet. They feel like, well, Trevor always overshoots with the audience. So he can go on for hours.
I have to stay on. They put me on and they say, Trev, he's still at West Ham. Stay on until you see the light flash.
See the light flash. Or a tunnel of light emerge with Christ at its end, beckoning you to your climax. Yeah, well, actually, Trevor, I think you've been a wonderful support act. He never really gives me any trouble.
But it's fun touring, isn't it? I mean, do you enjoy it?
I think I like it. I find it difficult to judge life. You know, like, sort of like, I'm not very good at categorising things. I sort of see myself just falling through existence, finding it difficult to go, right, do I enjoy this experience? I know I like the actual performing. I don't think I like being in the car travelling there very much.
You probably see, you're one of these rock and roll kind of acts who gets lots of really busty blondes waiting at the stage. You see my audience, I've always got these two fat munters in veils. Please have your autograph, please. That's all I get. So it's not.
as well.
Do you? It's not really something you look forward to. But I do like the fact that you can see your own audience, because they're the people who really come to see you. And I can see that they're a genuinely multi-aged, multicultural audience. Which
is that really, really? So do you get people like Muslims, veiled women, etc.? Do they really come to your gigs?
You get everything, and you get them sat next to army officers. I've always liked Amy. It's wonderful to watch it. So it's really weird to get a real mix of people, and sometimes jokes, half the audience laugh, then the other half laugh, and you can't get them all. Some jokes get them all laughing, but it's a very weird experience, but very enjoyable.
What I think you do is you generate lots of warmth and charisma. I remember seeing you quite near when I first started doing stand-up, is that you very own a room very easily with charisma and energy, and being sort of bounding and sort of light on your feet and warm and engaging with people. But
that was 2000, wasn't it? you started around 99, 2000. I remember you.
That's right. Do you?
I came to see you twice, actually. I saw you come and do your own show with you were sharing it with Shafi Hosseini.
Yeah, Shafi Hosseini.
Do you remember that? I remember thinking, this guy's he's great. He really just needs a bit of experience.
I did need some experience, and I certainly got them on me. They very nearly killed me.
You need some life experience.
Yeah, I've had those now. Awful business, really, and I shan't be doing it again. Rowena Banks, the writer and partner of David Baddiel, and brilliant comedian in her own right, I should add, from Absolutely. She was that little girl one in Absolutely, and she's in Saxondown and everything. She told me that when she came and saw you, that you were recording your DVD, and something spectacular and unusual happened. Can you imagine what that would be?
I broke my ankle right at the very last second.
Wow.
I usually just do 2 bows, and then Otis Cannelloni, who was supporting me that night, he's going, go on, do it, it's the Palladium, do 3rd bow. And I just sipped some water, just spilt on the ground there. So when I said, okay, I'll do a 3rd bow, and I thought I'd do a big flourish, I'd jump up, but as I went down, I slipped on the water, and my leg, you know how you twist your leg over like that? I went over 100 degrees and snapped the ankle.
And, on stage.
I snapped in the last second of the tour, very last second, so I snapped. It took me 6 months to recover.
Oh, you poor thing. That's sort of like a minor injury Tommy Cooper situation.
But I've got a little DVD extra. I made a deal, the making of the breaking off, so it's very exciting.
So really, what do you have to do? Lie down in agony for a bit on the floor? What happened?
What actually happened, I fell down. Everyone thought it was a great but unnecessary bit of, physical comedy. But then my technician thought, let's get some belly dance and put some music on, trying to get me to dance. And I tried to dance with a broken leg. And then I thought, forget it, and I went off. And then I started dry retching in the dressing room.
Because of the sheer pain?
Sheer pain. It happened when you snap it. All the hormones in your body just rush around everywhere, and you just feel immediately sick. So I was going like that.
That's horrible, isn't it? Dry retching. I don't like it.
It was horrible. It was really horrible. And
at least wet retching, you've got the result.
Exactly.
Hey, I've retched and I've got this.
Yes.
Matt Morgan was spent this morning being sick for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah, it's bad. I've been sick for ages.
Why are you being sick for? What's wrong with you? Is it your lifestyle?
Alcohol or something I ate.
Alcohol, I wonder what it could be of those two. Ridiculous way to live. But at least you've got a lovely DVD extra out of that.
Yes, I have.
So the reason that Morwenna told me that is because me and you was doing some acting together in a programme.
Yeah, we did a pilot, didn't we, for ITV?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. You were wearing an unusual wig, Omid.
I had a Russell Brand wig, yeah.
Yeah, you did, and I thought you looked rather fetching.
You thought I looked sexy, didn't you?
Yeah, I did actually. I found you sort of alluring, and when you were getting makeup done, I find you alluring anyway. The thing about you makes me want to get on your lap. You've got that sort of feeling.
Okay.
No, I don't want to then sort of pull my trousers down or anything. I just want to be on your lap, perhaps just loosely with my arms around your neck, like I'm an orangutan pet.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. I like that.
That's how I regard you, Omid. You can judge for yourself whether or not that's
thank you so much. I look forward to that happening one day.
It's inevitably going to. Probably happen during this song. Why don't we put some music, then we'll come back, we'll talk a bit about Omid's film career. And mostly what we want to talk about is embarrassing things that have happened to you when you've met famous people.
Yeah, plenty of those.
Oh, good, because you've met loads. Right, what are we going to listen to, Matthew?
Little Richard.
Little Richard?
Believe it or not.
What, Long Tall Sally?
Yeah.
I like Long Tall Sally. Is that where he goes, I'm going to tell Aunt Mary about Uncle John?
Bald-head Sally.
She sounds like a strange woman. I don't know why he got involved. Uncle John.
It's all euphemisms, though, isn't it?
It's euphemisms.
Well, it has to be.
Well, like my ding-a-ling, that
It's got to be double meanings, yeah.
Long talk,
Jive
Sally,
talk.
she's... That's jive talk.
I don't know, is it?
I like this jive talk that Fiddy sent us. Bally good stuff, a lot of it. Okay, let's have a listen to Little Richard. We're here with Omid Jalili. We're talking about... Hello, mate. What do you... Right, so Trevor thinks that song Long Tall Sally was somehow euphemistic. We're going to have some fun tonight. Fair enough. That doesn't sound like a euphemism. Pretty plainly.
Sally ducked back in the alley.
He says bald head Sally. Does he say bald? I thought he just said long haired.
There goes bald head.
Bald head Sally, jump back in the alley, and then there's something about Uncle John.
Well, Uncle
I
John...
just think it's a story. Trevor reckons it's all
It's
sexual
about
euphemism.
Trevor, you poison everything.
I'm not poisoning everything.
do.
I'm a searcher. I'm a questioner. And I think, well, that's the surface meaning, but
You are a
underneath
pervert.
I'm not.
Is what you are,
No,
Trevor.
I'm with Trevor. I think Little Richard's filth.
He
and
should be
roll.
banned from the airwaves,
It's
surely.
rock and roll. What is rock and roll? That's a phrase we know about, isn't it?
What's the rhythm of...
Well,
How's your father? Monkey
means
business?
rock and roll means
No.
yes, it does.
No. Does it rock and roll? That's... How's your father? Gee, our resident poet is agreeing, but why would we trust you, you filthy beatnik?
An old blues song.
Rock and roll, so...
Rock Me, from Rock Me.
Rock Me? Oh, my word, Omid, did you know about all
I
this?
didn't know, but it's all making me very excited.
I too. I'm getting rather flustered, Trevor. I didn't know you could make me feel like this. Omid, I want to know about...
Anything, I'll say anything.
All right, tell us about embarrassing things that's happened when you've met famous people. You've done things with Ollie Reed, didn't you?
Well, yeah, that Ollie Reed did, that was famously, there was a scene where he grabs my balls, and,
Ollie Reed, what was he like? Did he do it?
It was good. I was so scared of him. I avoided him for the first few days, and then what happened was the scene was that Ridley Scott wanted him to grab my balls and say, "You sold me queer giraffes."
You sold me what? Queer giraffes?
You sold me queer giraffes, and then he said to me,
I'd be happy with any giraffe.
I didn't know it was all a joke because the people there was the same crew on The Mummy, the 5 or 6 people who knew me, and they basically set me up. They told Oliver Reed, ask him if he's a method actor. I said, oh, yes. And he said...
Why did you say that?
Because I thought, I'm not, really. But he said, are you method? I said, yeah. He goes, well, do you mind if I really grab your balls? So he held my balls, and he held them even between the takes as a joke, because he knew I was so scared. So they go, action, you saw me queer giraffes, cut. And he hold on to my balls. He goes, have a cup of tea, do his makeup. And it took 3 or 4 takes before it was a joke, basically.
What method is that? The Joe Orton method? I don't know how you can justify doing that.
There was no joke, but that was a weird... I also met Gwyneth... The first time I met Gwyneth Paltrow in the film Sky Captain, I'd just run out of underwear. And I was wearing my son's...
How many are you going through a day? It sounds like you wear 9 pairs of pants a day.
I was.
Oh, no!
I was wearing my son's Speedos, and she saw me, like, plucking at my... just the front of the groin. And she goes, what are you doing? I said, hello, my name's Omid. And she goes, why are you doing that? I said, I'm just wearing my son's Speedos. So every time she looked at me, I was like, I was plucking like that.
Well, because they were tight and restrictive.
Yeah, and then I've got to a point, I thought it's gone beyond a joke, so I think I'll stare at her. I'll stare at her while I'm doing it. So I kept, every time during lunch, I'd look at her.
Why'd you do that for? That's a terrible decision.
It was a bad comedic decision.
Terrible choice,
Just staring at her while I pulled my groin forward, and she just thought I was very weird. But
what a terrifier. You've embarrassed her. This is meant about you being embarrassed. It's you terrifying a beloved and brilliant actress.
Then the best one, it's a famous one, is when I met Robert Redford, and that's a little tip in the film Spy Game. And a little tip for when you meet someone famous, never try to be funny too quickly. Just be normal. Just be normal, because I was introduced to him, and I was so nervous. Yeah. I thought I'd crack a gag, and I stayed in character. There was Tony Scott, Ridley Scott's brother, said, this is Omid playing Dumet in the film. He goes,
what was the character of Dumet like?
He was all right. It was just this Arab bloke who was a CIA operative, and he just said, he goes, it's very nice to meet you. And I said, Mr. Redford, may I say, I'm a big fan, and you are the best thing in Hawaii 5-0. It's my best show, you are great. He just took one look at me, he goes, thank you, because you were great in Dr. Zhivago, but you've let yourself go. Which I thought was very quick. I had no comeback. I just went, and walked off. That was it. So,
well, you walked into that, I think. I think in both these situations, you are the antagonist.
It's my fault, everything.
Yeah, I'm beginning to feel more sympathetic towards Oliver Reed, grabbing your balls. Do you know that conversation where he goes, like, are you method? Does that sort of thing go on in the world of film, like, are you method, as if method acting's a clandestine cult?
He was joking, because there was a time back in the 70s and 80s they used to say, are you method? method.
Really?
To try and unsettle people, and usually people said yes. To
it's
see,
like-
if they can take how far they can take the scene, and how far can you feel trust that I can really go for it. But here he said, "Are you method? Just trying to get at my balls." That was the idea. So I fell into.
Sounds
that
like the best method of all, really, if you get access to people's ghoulies out
Exactly.
of it. So, because, like, I want to do a bit more of the old acting, and I'm actually method. I went to a method acting school, drama centre in London.
The method acting school.
The method acting school of this country. A lot of time crying in the nude, but that was after school, actually. I didn't have to do that. What are you looking at me? Why are you sneering, Morgan?
Because surely, you can't go and be a taxi driver if you're playing a taxi driver, so...
You could.
You can, yeah, that's what some people do. They get a job
that's
as a
what you're
taxi
meant to do.
Yeah,
You can't- what, work experience for a day, or do you have to go...
Or you could do it for longer. It's up to you. I suppose you could decide yourself, can you? I mean, have you ever done anything like that? Gone, right, I'm being a slave trader. Right, this is going to be difficult to research, but, the part demands it.
It's weird. I met someone else from the drama centre, actually. We were doing a play back in '89, and he decided that he'd animalised his character as a monkey, and he wouldn't come on stage. We couldn't find him. We found him literally hanging upside down from the rafters, going, ooh, 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 and people kept saying, Clive, come down, Clive, come
Which
down.
must have confused him, because that's the name of Clint Eastwood's sidekick.
That's a good point.
Clyde.
No, but he wouldn't come down, and he wouldn't come out of character.
He stayed up there as a monkey. That would annoy me, because I wouldn't accept that he actually thought he was a monkey.
Yeah, he did.
Come on, mate, get down.
Exactly.
Don't be daft, have a banana. You'd have to find a way of
So
coaxing
he wasn't
him out
actually
of it.
playing a monkey, he was playing a man who was...
He was saying a man who just animalised his character.
Yeah, to help you change your physical
another
form.
method.
Because Matt does a lot of sketches with me in our TV show, and he is actually a very brilliant, natural comedic actor. But you don't know about things like this. So what you do, say like that you're playing a character, right? If you're me and I walk, me, I gangle about like a little chimp. But if I was playing a character that was meant to be tough and hard, I'd maybe go, right, okay, I'll animalise that character as a bear. I'll think of it, so I'll go to a zoo, have a look at a bear, watch a David Attenborough programme about bears, and then sort of like get the movements of a bear, and then it's going to inform a little bit the way you hold yourself and the way you move. And if you could see me now, listeners, I'm motioning like a polar bear, and it's quite intimidating. So that's how it works, isn't it, on me?
Very well put, yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Do you do anything like that? Like yourself? You just turn up, be all cheeky,
No,
get by on charm.
I said, what accent do you want me to do now? Is it always the same one? Okay, let's go.
That one, yes, we would like that one, Mr. Jalili, if you don't mind. We'd like you to simplify complex relationships between us and people in the Middle East. Oh, fine, totally good. Yeah.
I actually had one bit in a film. I'm not joking, I had one line where I got dragged away to my death, shouting, "It wasn't me who stole the grain!" That was it. That's all I had to do.
Dragged to your death. It wasn't me who stole the grain.
Yeah,
What a way to go.
If you're just about to be killed, you'd say, "It wasn't me!"
Yeah.
You would go,
But who
"Me
stole the
that grain?"
You know the grain thing? Yeah, you'd let that bit go. Just focus on the main issue there of your innocence and protestation about that. Yeah, you listen to Radio 2. I'm Russell Brand here, of course, with Omid Jalili and Matt and Trevor. They're still here. God rest their
It's a
souls.
good atmosphere here. You have a good time here, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yes, because it's natural. Like, I suppose some radio shows, it's the appearance and affectation of friends. We are actually friends with each
I
other.
can feel that. It's very good.
Yeah, we spend all our time together. It's actually quite depressing and difficult for us. What do you want to talk to you about then? Oh, I wanted to say something very important. I think it was about the government. Oh, yeah, that's it. Don't trust them. Oh, that government. Oh, no, it wasn't that at all. It was something about you. Oh, Mid. What do I want you to tell me about now that you're here?
Stop playing with your groin.
Stop playing with your... Yes, I mean, like,
I can't
you
believe
would
I
have
told you
thought
that story. I shouldn't have
Oh,
said
yeah,
that.
you regret telling those stories to us.
Yeah,
do
it
you?
was a bit too
He
revealing.
plays with his all the time, right?
I do actually, regardless of whether I'm wearing your
He's got
son's Speedos or not, which most days I am. I just sort of
If he's excited, he's got something to say. He goes and holds onto it like a
jab
child.
and touch at my genitalia. Yeah, but not in a sexual or erotic way, just in a
Certainly
comfort
not
way.
erotic.
My dad does that, Mike. Whenever it's too hot, he goes, "Oh, it's so hot," and he grabs the
That's not going to help, but that's going to make him hotter, if anything.
My dad limps when he's got a sore throat.
He limps when he's got a sore throat.
Just, yeah.
That's bonkers. That's like that Edward de Bono man who mistook his wife for a hat, the man who mistook his cough for a limp.
It's not Edward
I
de Bono.
mistook
That's
It
Oliver
is.
Sacks.
Oliver Sacks, is it?
Edward de Bono. wrote a
Six
book called
thinking hats.
Six Thinking Hats.
Wow, and I oddly
None of them was taken
spoonerismed
for a
that. He does, I've got 6 thinking hats, and I'm not married to any of them. This one seems to have more influence than the other 5. All right, dear, I'll be up in a minute.
What he'd done, he'd hidden his wife under one of them and then he shuffled them.
Find the lady, find that. That's no lady, that's my wife. But it's a very nice hat as well. It can double as both.
It's good insight into the way your mind all
Is
this
it?
information.
How?
Hat books.
Hat books.
They're all by the same person.
Right, the book's about hats. This'll do. I'll put that in the hat book file inside my noggin. There you go. There'll be no troubles inside of there.
I must say, you're all friends, but I now feel really left out.
No, Ahmed, let's give Ahmed attention, everyone. Ahmed, do you get a bit bored of being this country's Iranian comedian stand-up
A
fella?
little bit, yeah.
Why? Because people phone you up and go, right, there's been some terrorism. Will you
Yeah, they
come
do
and help me?"
actually. They do, yeah. They all. I switch my phone off whenever there's something big happens. I switch the phone off, and I get about 20 messages from Radio 5 Live. Could you comment on this? Comment on that? No, I can't be bothered.
Right, and that shows the lazy way people think. It certainly makes up for my Edward de Bono mishap. If every time there's something involving terrorism, get Ahmed Jalili on the phone.
Well, do you know what? They called
He
me...
probably did it.
In 1998, they called me up. They were saying, hello, this is the Sunday Times, and we want to interview you because you've come from Iran and you're storming the comedy circuit. So, I said, sure. He goes, so, where were you born? I said, I was born in London. She goes, do you speak... Your English is good. I said, yeah, I'm a Londoner, really. She goes... But what about that accent? She goes, can I call you back? And they called me back and they said, no, we don't want the interview anymore because we thought you'd just come off the boat from Iran and you're storming. I said, that'll be front page news. Yes. They genuinely thought I'd just come off the boat. Bizarre.
He's lovely, this guy. He's really adapted very quickly.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He's storming. So yeah, that must be a little bit annoying then to be sort of tokenism.
Okay. But the fact that you've got to just keep going and have longevity so people can see it's not just an accent. There is actually a viewpoint, which is what the BBC bought now. I'm doing my own show for BBC. I bought my own.
When's it on telly?
We're shooting it April, so I don't know when it'll be on.
Could take ages. Could be on soon. End of the year, autumn.
End of the year 2009 or something. I don't know.
Trev wants to know what it is. Sketches and stuff.
It's like Dave Allen, stand-up and sketches.
Oh, that's brilliant. Good. Will you sit down? We have a glass of water like he did. You're sat down on a stool.
Instead of chopping my finger off, I'll chop off my beep. No, I think it'll be. I haven't quite decided. The pilot, I stood up and did some stand-up, but we are thinking about sitting down. And I've got my own catchphrase at the end. Like
what is it?
He said, "Good night, and may your God go with you." I can't tell you what mine is now, but it's a cracker.
Is it?
It's something I think people are going to be saying. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm excited now. I want to know. I can't even really cope.
What could it be?
I think he just says, "Oh, f all this, f the police, f the Queen." Good night, yeah. I'm Ahmed Jalili. Come on.
That's very good. It's something like that, actually.
Sounds all right. You went on Question Time. Is it any good?
I didn't go on Question Time.
Didn't you?
You're mistaking me for Jimmy Carr.
They never had Jimmy Carr on Question Time.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
I thought they had you on Question Time in an Iranian tokenism fashion.
They asked me, but I said no.
Why?
I've got nothing to say.
Don't want us to talk about sort of...
Well, it depends. If there's a hot issue, but I think they were talking about stuff that I wasn't particularly interested in.
Oh, right. Okay, that's a shame you didn't go.
Have you done it? Are you going to do it?
If they ask me, I'm on it. Yeah, if I get an opportunity to show off and be all grand about I'm there, right? Because remember, when I got arrested at Mayday Right, when I was still a junkie, me and Matt were out making a TV programme, I got, arrested at Eros, stripping naked, and the police sort of dragged me off of Statue of Eros. I was all nude, and we were ridiculously tiny little drugged winky. And then, they dragged me into a doorway, and, there was all sort of media people, press and stuff there, and I was, on MTV then, but, I didn't really have a public profile, but so people seen that arrest, and I was in a doorway and I looked slightly elevated, and it's I remember actually this really sort of tall, noble looking black man with dreadlocks had come and sort of stood by me in this looked very symbolic, and I was thinking in my little drugged brain that he was a guardian angel, and all these sort of press people started thrusting microphones at me going, "Oh, young man, what do you think about all this sort of capitalism?"
It was like Monty Python.
It was not like Monty Python.
I'm glad this has happened. I've been meaning to get a few things off my chest. Nothing to say.
No, I went, right, okay, bloody governments, that makes you sick, does it? And capitalism, that's got to change for a kick-off. Went off on this great big diatribe. But I think you'd probably find, Matt, because you were very cynical about me and my belief system, probably through the drugs and ego.
We were there to make a telly programme. We were taking part in a riot for the fun of it.
I love riots, though. I do get exhilarated in a riot. I like it when your identity is immersed into a crowd. I find it very exhilarating.
That's exciting.
The first one I went to, I went to inadvertently, it was for the Liverpool Dockers. I just came off the tube. The tube weren't working. It was Liverpool Dockers, where they were doing a protest march through Trafalgar Square. And of course, the tube weren't working. I thought, what's going on? And so I went upstairs, and it was all the hustle and bustle in the streets, and the police were there, but the police weren't in control. And I was just sort of getting excited, because it's I think if you're suppressing constantly, internally, a sense of, not fitting in, and, you might constantly explode, to see that represented palatably in the streets, exhilarating, and there's horses wearing sunglass Nazis things, and there were people and like policemen with shields. I just got all carried away.
So if you'd have been nicked that day, you'd have gone, yeah, the docks are a mess and I can't afford a new dress.
This dock, right? I've been down the Dockers, and they're not as good as Chinos, and something should be done about it. Righto! But, I don't, admit that. I suppose the problem is, with me, is that I've got really quite passionate political views and very little understanding. So I go, right, I believe in Marxism. Oh, and what does that mean? He had a beard. But I know that something's wrong with the world. I know consumerism ain't right. I know we should be listening to the spirituality within us and not being so egotistical, but I'm probably the worst exponent of that lifestyle on the planet currently. So that's difficult. Are you politicised, Omid?
I am, and that's what my show will be about, the unity of mankind, the oneness of religion, and how we should all just chill out and be lovely to each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think, does the human race have a chance?
Absolutely. I believe that the world peace is an inevitability.
Really? You think it will inevitably happen?
Yeah, it has to.
Why?
Because that's the way the world is going, and I think people don't realise that there are forces of integration and disintegration. There has to be good and bad, and for us to reach a goal where there's a golden age of peace, there has to be troubles. It's like marriages. I mean, if you want to get through it, to get to the final good stage of marriage, you've got to go through a lot of crap. So
right, okay.
We're in mankind's adolescence right now.
Right, well, I thought so. That explains why I've been spending so much time in my bedroom and my sock drawers in a state of perpetual endless adolescence. So, okay, but you think that we will reach a golden age, but we have to go through cataclysm first.
It's
Armageddon.
It's like a baby when you grow up, and we're now in the very turbulent adolescence where you're worrying about your sexuality, you've got spots on your face, and I think we're in a state of immaturity.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I think.
And we will mature into a more placid middle age and have a bit of a sit down.
Basically, yeah.
Well, I hope so, Omid.
No, not have a sit down. That's when mankind's true creativity will flourish, and we'll see the true potentiality of each human individual grow and flourish.
Well, I hope I get to have a good part during this revolution. It would have been a damn shame if I've turned up and missed the best bit. What are you doing to reclining, Trevor? Have you got views on this? You're always into utopias and revolution and the like.
I agree with Omid, but I think it's many years in the future. I don't think we'll be around.
Oh!
No, right now we're in the tough. This is a very tough period.
Typical of me to exist in a time like this. You all right, Matt?
Yeah.
I want to comment on the old utopian revolution ideas.
I think it'll be another few hundred years.
That's Matt Morgan's views there on a utopian revolution. All right, let's have a listen to a bit of a song. Oh, hello. Omid's tour dates. Omid, right, I guess Omid, you've got to go and look after children, don't you?
I do, yeah.
They are yours, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Thank heavens for that, otherwise it's not one obligation too far. Right, so there's someone to play. In January, you can see Omid in Oxford, Wickham, Halifax, Finchley, Salford, Dartford. This tour's badly organised, mate. It's all over the country. It's ridiculous. Who are you with? Who's looking after this tour?
Bound and gagged.
I could drive a bus through that. I did this tour. I'd like to reorder these dates, but that's January. February, Newbury, Sheffield, Wimbledon, Hayes, Stafford, London, Camberley, Tehran, St Albans. I just threw that in. I threw that in because you see, now.
Just go to my website, www.omidnoagenda.com.
Go to Omid No Agenda, although, ironically, he has got an agenda, and that's to give you his tour dates. Very clearly stated. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you,
Omid Jalili there.
Yeah, goodbye, lovely people.
Thank you, it's been lovely to have you. What should we listen to, Matty Morg?
Zeppelin?
Yeah, Zeppelin, let's turn on Zeppelin. Yeah, let's go. This is for you, Omid Jalili. So, that's like Nicola, who does my makeup, just had a little baby. It's called a girl. No, it's called Hermione. Now, we did say to her not to call it anything from pop culture currently. She was either going to call it,
Harry Potter.
She's going to call it Harry Potter, Hermione. You know, she thought she just had some odd zeitgeisty suggestion. But isn't it lovely? She had to go through 40 hours of labour, and then 40, then she had to have a caesarean at the end of it. Oh, God. That's a pain in the arse. Might as well have the caesarean in the beginning.
Not the arse, mate.
Yes. No. Well, unless I'm very confused about sex, Matt, that's precisely what goes on. I don't know. So I've been conducting my affairs. No, it's lovely, isn't it? I'm really glad she had a baby. We'll have to go and see her, get her a present and everything.
Yep.
What do you get a baby, though? They don't want anything, do they?
Little booties.
Buy her a present.
Knits and booties.
Booties, and we'll get her a present as well. Let's get something really ostentatious and flash. Like, let's turn up with it. Yeah, let's turn up like Elvis and like wearing big gold satin suits. Go, yeah, we've bought you this thing. We're no use to you whatsoever. That's lovely. So happy birthday to that baby Hermione that Nicola, the makeup lady's had. But anyway, that's probably quite the listenership of that particular issue is probably 9 or 10 people that are actually affected by that. So what are we talking about? Hero worship.
Were we?
We were talking about, not hero worship, embarrassing blunders in front of heroes, more likely. We've got some emails and stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, go on, Matthew, read out an email, see if you can do it professionally.
Let me have a go.
Already rubbish.
Jilly Prime. That's good, isn't it?
Jilly Prime.
Jilly Prime.
Jilly Prime, I think of a girl in a blazer with a lacrosse stick going, now look here, you!
I think of Optimus Prime from the Transformers, but a girl version.
A girl version of Optimus Prime,
That's
a
what I
robot. Don't think about it anymore.
Well, Jilly Prime, the robot, says this isn't actually she corresponded, right, with a celebrity. When I was 16, getting bored revising for GCSEs, I started writing to Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
I always got really nice replies, but when this is weird, I sent him a form to join my Vegetarian Stock Cube Society.
What, not society?
Silly.
It's not going to go anywhere.
It came back with loads of spelling corrections on it. I still cringe about it to this day, 17 years later.
So that's lovely, and that you'd expect that of Stephen Fry. He's received that form.
From a girl of 16. Oh, no, this won't do.
No, I'm not going to tolerate this mangling of the English language. Sends it back corrected. That's lovely.
Stock Cube Society. Why do you need a society?
You don't need a society, because that is too many disparate ideas. Vegetarianisms, or perhaps the singular will do, and cubes. Why is geometry getting dragged into all this? Like, that don't require a society. That barely requires a handshake or a nod of the head, does it? That can exist happily within the vegetarian society. What kind of fragmentation has occurred where they've gone, we can't exist under the umbrella of the vegetarian society anymore? It's like the INLF and the IRA. No. It's become too diverse. We need our own vegetarian stock cube society. Our demands are simple. We want vegetarian stock cubes.
Why was a 16-year-old girl running that society?
That's what they did, though. In the sixth form, that's what you find really funny, to come up with obscure societies.
You don't.
Yes,
I didn't go to sixth form.
You wouldn't know them, would you?
I just left school. I didn't try and drag it out. What were you doing? What society did you start up? Grow your hair too bleeding long, but keep it in the style of a Lego Man society.
I started up the Christian Society at University College London.
Never.
Yeah, which was an atheist philosophy department, and
what? So you called it the Christian Society?
To wind up
as a snub to God.
Not to God, as a snub to the atheists who run the philosophy department.
Oh God, what a complex prank.
They were really upset.
To wind up atheists that run a philosophy department, you might as well just smashed one of them in the face with a frying pan and called it surrealism, and showed them a postcard by Andre Breton and go, yeah, get your laughing gear around that.
Could have done that, I suppose.
Ridiculous way to
a little bit more trouble.
Yeah, it'd have been a bit more reckless. Matthew, I can't imagine you starting any kind of society.
What's that, dear?
Unless it's a society for people sat grunting in their own filth, giggling at the breeze.
No, that's not one I started. I did used to do that thing where you painted little men.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you? No, that's it. Yeah, well,
little figures, obviously not.
Yeah,
not the little people.
No,
dwarves.
You weren't troubling jockeys. So what was it? Dungeons and Dragons?
No, that's what Nans say.
Oh, was that your Dungeons and Dragons?
Dungeons and Dragons, don't you, dear?
What is it?
I
then?
say it when Nans say, "Oh, Star Trek was on. Come down, Star Wars is on." This is a very specific thing to hate.
Yeah,
you run all the way downstairs. Star Wars on the telly, and it was Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Oh, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? No, it's not.
There's very distinct differences, grandmother. Now I'm off upstairs to work on my society for blow-offs. Ridiculous way to live your life. Yeah, when they don't know. Oh, go on, you're like that. I don't like it when your mum tries to matchmake you into a friendship with someone.
Dear.
Yeah, go on, you'll get on with him. He's the same age as you. I don't think so. I'm not a good mixer, mother. You just leave me up here with Boba Fett and the rest of my Star Wars.
What about Nicola, the makeup lady who's just had a baby?
Yeah, what
saying,
about?
Oh, you met Morrissey? Oh, he's your favourite.
I love her for saying that. I told her I met Morrissey. She goes, he's your favourite. Oh.
Well, he is.
Yeah, but her saying favourite. She reminds me of my nan. That's why I love her. Because, like, she's got that same sort of way she just sort of goes and rolls her eyes at me when I'm being really disgusting and weird. She just sort of accepts me.
I feel safe around Nicola.
Nicola, she'd be a good mother because she has maternal, matriarchal, not matriarchal, but maternal values, I would say, about her.
Well, that'll be really handy when she's a mother.
Yeah, better than
She'll be a good mother. She's got maternal values.
Also, she has a porcine aspect. She has the aspects of the swine. She hasn't. She's lovely. Go on then, Trev. Read out an email.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is an interesting one from Iolne.
Why are you saying that like that?
That's how you pronounce Iolne.
Don't don't talk like Jimmy Savile, Trev.
I'm not talking like Jimmy
Well, it's
Savile.
an interesting one here, actually.
I've got an interesting letter here from a young lady called Ione.
No, I'm doing a regional accent because she's Scottish, isn't she?
Get on with it.
The region was Jimmy Savile's mouth.
No, it wasn't.
Go on then.
A couple of years ago, I saved a bloke's life on a tube, and he repaid me by...
What, of Smarties?
I don't know.
toilet roll?
Well, it's confusing. Was he on a tube because he was poorly, or was he
She's
on
in
a...
Scotland, there's no tube.
Yeah, they don't
Well,
have a tube.
she's Scottish, she's moved down to London, so many of them do.
Well, we should stop that for a start.
And, well,
How do you know
it's a
she's Scottish?
joke.
Where is this?
She's called Ione.
What? That's what you're basing it on?
You can't judge
That's a
people on that,
Scottish...
Trevor.
That's a Scottish island, isn't it?
Yeah, well, people, hold on, mate. Now, look here.
Well, you look
can't
here.
just immediately people have a name after a type of island and say that they're from that place.
I think it's a reasonable assumption to make.
It's a ridiculous assumption to make, isn't it,
All
Matt?
right, well, then we'll just read it out in my normal voice.
No, do a regional accent, but you might as well be random. You might as well do a Papua New Guinea accent.
I don't know that one. A couple of years ago, I saved a bloke's life on a tube, and he repaid me by sitting me down to a meal with his family. That's an unusual repayment, isn't it, for saving somebody's life?
Yeah, an awkward social situation.
Yeah, difficult. That is not a good repayment. That's worse, in a way. Well, she saved his life, and he goes, how can I repay you? Come round here and have dinner around someone else's house, like when you're a kid, and with other people's houses, you don't like the smell of it, and you don't like the dinner that they have.
And
I didn't like
they've
going...
been having that dinner anyway. We didn't go out of his way, did
Yeah, they've got to have dinner. It's just, well, everyone's got one less fish finger.
Yeah.
Who cares?
But there's a sort of nobility to it as well, isn't there? There's a sort of simplistic sort of...
You like
law,
that?
Yeah, it's sort of like a law of karma. It's like, well, you were in the position to save my life. I am in the position to give you some fish fingers.
Well, I'd want something better. I'd want at least a
Well, that's
electric.
because you
Well,
live
you're
in
both
this society.
presuming they ate fish fingers.
Well,
Creepy.
People like those, Matthew. I have it on good authority.
Get on with that email. We never
Yeah, get on with it, Trev. We don't know that happened. She had some dinner. That's what you chose.
you
A
haven't said
woman
the
saved
best
someone's
bit.
life and got some dinner.
First of all, she should have been a little bit more detailed about how she saved the bloke's life. What was
Yeah, that's the interesting part of the story.
Surely the most interesting bit. What was
Yeah,
threatening it?
what happened on
what
that
she had to
tube?
do?
The interesting part
He
of
had
the
a
story.
fit. I reckon he had a fit.
No, I don't. Oh,
He swallowed his tongue.
No. I reckon it's much more. I reckon she saw something that he didn't see and created a diversion, and then, that's what saved him.
It's ridiculous. Trevor, your point is, you think she's called from Scotland because she's called Ione. Now you think she created a diversion. You live your life in an extraordinary
I think he
fashion.
was choking.
I think he was choking. She did a Heimlich manoeuvre on him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, basically, the force of the email is really that she was forced to eat some wheat. She's wheat intolerant like us three, and he fed her bread.
Well, just had to
It
chew
wasn't fish
for
fingers, it was bread.
You two aren't very good at not
it was
eating
breaded
wheat,
fish.
apart from that thing you had the other day, which I mentioned on the blog.
Oh yes, when I had my wheat and bacon-free bacon sandwich. Yeah, essentially it was just a gas. It might as well have just been a prism. It was a ridiculous thing to have had to have eaten. Yeah, doing that very funny sketch. Here's something I want to talk to you two about before we clear off air. Right, I got into, I'm thinking about... What am I thinking about? I'm thinking about integration and oneness and unity throughout humankind. I met this cab driver the other day. Sometimes, you won't talk to a cab driver, you're closed down. I met one the other day and instantly connected with him. He was a very lovely man. I noticed why, because I was really tired when I got in the cab. And
Are
I
you
noticed
coming out?
I'm married now! and I noticed he turned down his CB radio. Or what?
CB radio.
He turned down his CB. Star Wars is on the telly. Do you want some Cracker Jacks? But he turned down his radio, and I thought, oh, that's sweet. He's seen I'm tired, and so he's turned down the radio. Therefore, I won't do this blow off that I was planning. So I didn't do it because I thought if he's been kind enough to do that,
You're so
I won't
much
do
like
it.
Jesus.
This
In
is
a
the
way,
future, Matt,
it's
really. People caring for each other.
compassion in a way, isn't it? And then he took me to the doctors where I had to have some UV treatment. Popped out, come back to the car, and I'd needed, once more.
Of course.
But I thought I'll do it on the way to the car to
Why are
experience.
you telling us this story? You said, here's something I need to talk to you two about. It's basically about an unfarted fart.
I did it on the walk, and then I got to
Why
the
are you
door.
telling us this?
Because it's about
And the
altruism.
He's teaching us a lesson. It's
There's a lesson.
parable.
It's a parable.
It's a lesson about
Some
self-editing.
of the blow-offs fell on stony ground, whereas some fell on rich crops, and some was took away by the birds. No, what I'm saying is actually, then I started talking to that bloke. It turned out he was a West Ham fan as well. He loved my column in The Guardian. He came over from Trinidad when he was 12, and and he was talking to me about stopping going to football because of racism and violence. And he was an incredibly articulate and sensitive man. I apologise for both of those things. I'm sorry, but it's my hobby. Yeah, no, but it was lovely because I had a shared moment of humanity. And George Orwell, I think, what is that book? Letters from Catalonia or something? Homage to Catalonia. Yeah, he talks about in the first passage of that book he took, which is as far as I got, if I'm honest. Right? He talks about, like, when you meet someone and instantly like him. He said he met another recruit signing up for POUM, you know, fighting against Franco. And he said that he instantly liked that man. He instantly made a connection. And sometimes when you find, you know, when you have a glimmer of instant humanity, when you connect with someone, you think, oh, I love that person. When you can love someone in an instant and you realise, like that you realise that everything is ephemeral, and I think, oh no, we've got this in common, we've got that to talk about, but really we have the ultimate thing we have in common is the divine spark of life. So it might have started off with a story about blow-offs, young man.
They were both signing up for the army, so they're both in a similar predicament, and he was probably nervous and he was just latching on to people.
No, because in the Spanish Civil War, people came from all over Europe to join. I mean, they were bonded
so they
by
were united by the fact they were...
Yeah, a common social cause. I mean, alright, it's not like, you know, Romeo and Juliet or something, but even they were just posh people in Italy out of Shakespeare's brain. So, you know, there is a finding a commonality. You don't instantaneously love someone just because you both reach for the same penguin biscuit in a cafeteria. So, like, it wasn't a material connection. It was a spiritual sense. That's what Orwell was trying to convey. And I believe that is the same sensation I experienced whilst restraining a blow-off in the back of a cab. And I thank you for ridiculing it, both of you.
Hymn number 463, We Plough the Fields and Scatter.
Thank you very much. Let's have a listen to Sank.
Yeah, what do you want to listen to?
Bowie? Just press a button. Yeah, Bowie! Let's go crazy. You're listening to Russell Brand on BBC Radio 2, and what a show it's been. Good guess. Jonathan Ross came in here, but he didn't feature on here. Noel Gallagher did. Oh, he blathered on. Ahmed Jalili was in here. That was fantastic. It's been a good show, ain't it? I've enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed it, Matt?
I've had a tremendous time.
It's been wonderful. Trevor Locke, have you enjoyed it, dear?
I have. I thought it had texture.
Lovely celebrity anecdote. Just time for a couple of emails, and of course our resident poet laureate, Mr. G. This is from Joe, Jennifer and Kenny. I don't know if anyone's told you about Morrissey at the SECC on Saturday night. He was bigging you up. He asked us all to like you because you're very sweet. Sounds like he was facing a tidal wave of antipathy against me there. Morrissey trying to carve out some affection. Very sweet. Oh, but then it says in brackets, we all love you anyway, of course, exclamation marks. Is that person trying to backtrack? I don't know how you felt meeting him, but it was strange watching him sing, not sink. God, that would never happen. I've never been reduced to tears before just seeing someone. And I've seen hundreds of gigs. Lots of love. Thank you. That's nice to tell us that. Listen to this quickly. Hello, Matt and Trevor and Russell, says Sarah Parker. I had to tell you the sad sight that I beheld the other night. I was rushing through Tottenham Court Road Underground Tube Station in London to and I heard the merry tune of a busker playing Christmas songs. When I got close up, I was shocked to see your old mate, Henry the Hoover, playing a trumpet alongside a human playing a guitar. Look what's happened to him after you've had your wicked way of him, I once foolishly admitted to an adolescent liaison with a Hoover. Reduced to busking on the underground, but he did look happy. He was very good on the trumpet, so I don't think your amorous lust had any lasting effect. Sarah, that's one of the people we work with, young Jess, saw that same Henry the Hoover busker. He's getting quite a lot of cred. Perhaps he could get a career. He should go on X Factor, which I believe is
plays the trumpet somehow.
Look at you naive twit. Next week, let's talk about...
I actually think he's learned to play the trumpet.
It's time for you to accept yourself, young man.
Accept yourself? You had sex with a Hoover.
Oi! Now, I was very young. I didn't know what was going on. Well done, Trevor, for pointing. BBC Radio 2. It wasn't sex. Anyway, what we had, that awkward fumble in an airing cupboard before my mum made her way up the stairs to receive the dual disappointment of a ruined son and a ruined Hoover. That poor woman. Yeah, it certainly wasn't sex. So, and then, look, finally, a person who's talking about their embarrassing not sexual encounters, Jesus. This is Hayes Robertson. She said, look, her first ever celebrity encounter was when she was a child of 9, and the person was Matt LeBlanc, who was visited. Remember when Friends came from there was an episode of Friends in London, yeah. Joey, Matt LeBlanc. She goes, she saw him in a lift. He got into a lift with me one morning because they were at the same hotel, and she said I got a fright. After he said hello, I stared at him and actually did a bit of dribble out of my mouth. That can't have been nice for Matt LeBlanc to be subjected to that, can it?
Staring and dribbling.
Well, yeah, I don't think he would like it at all.
He does. I think that gives him a sense of importance.
Gives me one. Okay, so what a lovely show it's been, but before we wrap things up, let's have a little listen to Mr. G, our resident poet laureate. Let's create atmosphere for him. Woo! Here, use Ahmed Jalili's microphone. He's cleared off to look after his family.
Okay, it's a poem about embarrassment.
Gather around, boys and girls, and let me tell you a tale. Throw another log on the fire and pour yourself a flagon of ale. As we recall times when we've met famous names we respect, but embarrassment seems to infect our attempts to keenly impress. Don't ever mention to Gwyneth Paltrow about Omid Speedos. Perhaps she was moved in the same way that Little Richard affects Trevor's libido. And Matt got his diploma from Lulu. Not from a university, just Lulu. So when he received his degree, all he could scream was, Lulu! Russell was heckled by Vic Reeves, causing him to reel into fits. Yet he sent a text to Jonathan Ross of him feeling a right tit. And Noel's out in Australia getting a tan and recalling when he was left alone standing by Morrissey, who with authority announced that his name was Russell Brand. So now we have a fan of a man who bears the name of his fan. How embarrassing.
Woohoo! Yes! I like that one, and I like that you got that Morrissey said that he was me on the stage the other night. That actually happened. That's a really good moment to have had in my little lifey poos. Right, thank you very much for everyone that's contributed to this tremendous show. We've touched on some very profound themes, ain't we, Trev? Talked about utopia, talked about unification of the soul and that and the spirit. I think I might mention Prometheus now. What did it mean? Stealing fire from the gods? There's something to ponder. Right, what's going on next? Something brilliant on Radio 2. Stay with us. Thanks, Matt. You've done well and all. 88 to 91 FM. This is Radio 2 from the BBC.
BBC Radio 2. Russell Brand.